It's hard. It's hard for everyone. Right now, everybody's hard. What's your biggest challenge? Me? Yes, you personally. I don't have any big challenges. I'm retired now. My biggest challenge is that I want to see what methods are more effective for communication, exchanges, the development of technology, and for the growth of young people in today's situation. Alas, my challenge is not as great as many of the people in the post, so I feel like I can contribute a little more of my own efforts. Jack Ma choked up at one point in the interview. What kind of question made him think long and hard? The Alibaba Group, founded by Jack Ma, was split into 6 subsidiaries in March 2023 under the vigorous supervision of the Chinese authorities. It's an official announcement that the Alibaba empire is dismantled. According to the French newspaper Le Monde, this is the result of a controlling operation launched by Beijing authorities in 2021. It represents the end of China's frenzied economic growth and even the end of an era in China. According to several Chinese media reports, Jack Ma called a meeting of the company's top management in late May. He warned that the situation was dire, citing Nokia and Kodak as examples, saying that 6 months to a year was sufficient for a company to fall from the top of the industry to its demise. The internet industry could disappear even faster. Then, on June 20th, Alibaba Group announced a change in leadership, with Zhang Yang stepping down as chairman and CEO and being replaced by 2 veteran Ali executives. This is another major personnel change in Alibaba's senior management since the founder of the company, Jack Ma, was taken down. What is the impact of Alibaba's decline on China's various industries? In this episode, we will explore this subject. Let's go back to 2020. On October 24th of that year, Jack Ma made a mistake. Here's a clip from the episode we aired in March 2021. In the 2017 martial arts film that Jack Ma invested and starred in, he seemed to be predicting his own fate. He beats the world's top masters.
Jack Ma, well, I guess I could go just want to look at your Skype.
But when he's in the presence of the Chinese police, he begs his opponent to let him go. Why is the Xi Jinping leadership taking such a hard line against Alibaba, China's golden goose? Last October, at the second Bund Financial Summit in Shanghai, Chinese Vice President Wang Qishan warned of various risks in the Chinese financial system. These included the crooked path of speculation and gambling, the circuitous side path of financial bubbles, and the pernicious path of Ponzi schemes. We must insist on preventing and resolving financial risks, and financial security always comes first. But later, Jack Ma said at the summit that China does not have financial systemic risk. There is basically no systemic financial risk in China. This became the starting point of a massive crackdown on online platforms, which Chinese President Xi Jinping denounced as the disorderly expansion of capital. Jack Ma himself disappeared for 3 months, then remained overseas and kept a low profile. In April 2021, Alibaba was fined 18 billion yuan, or US $2.5 billion, on the grounds that it had abused its dominant market position. Ant Financial Services Group, a fintech company, was then forced to restructure and became a thorn in the side of the traditional financial institutions. In early 2023, Jack Ma relinquished control of Ant Financial Services, retaining only 6% of the voting power sitting on the company's board. In the space of a few years, Jack Ma and Alibaba, once the darling of Chinese and foreign investors and the flag bearer of the conquering Chinese tech industry, became a symbol of the political risk that hangs over most Chinese companies. Beijing has long worried that private technology companies are becoming too big and powerful. In a crackdown over the past few years, Beijing has tried to weaken the monopoly of many big, well-known tech companies, handing out huge fines, banning apps from being downloaded, and requiring some to overhaul their businesses. Alibaba's breakup and restructuring has served as a model for the Communist Party's efforts to transform other Chinese tech giants. Forced to split into 6 companies, Alibaba has been severely restricted in its growth and now faces great difficulties in its operations. Ali's e-commerce is showing clear and serious signs of decline. Market share, which once held 80% of China's e-commerce market share, has fallen to 52% by 2021. Alibaba has 2 online platforms, One is a consumer-to-consumer or C2C retail platform, Taobao, and the other is a business or mall-to-consumer or B2C platform, Tmall. But by now, both Taobao and Tmall are losing money. A Goldman Sachs research report estimates that Ali's market share will fall further to about 35% by 2025. In terms of market capitalization, 6 years ago, Ali's market capitalization was close to US $500 billion, ranking it at the top of China's e-commerce industry. However, in 2023, that number is only half of what it was then. The harsh COVID-19 lockdown over the past 3 years has done significant damage to China's core businesses, and Ali e-commerce indeed faces a serious existential crisis. Starting in May 2023, shocking news surfaced on several Chinese social media platforms that Taobao and Tmall were merging, with 25% layoffs in production and research. The layoffs included the Cloud Intelligence Group, Taobao Tmall Business Group, Local Services Group, a Smart Logistics Group, and a Digital Media and Entertainment Group. Among them, Ali Cloud cut its employees from 20,000 to 15,000. Many executives were forced to take a pay cut to stay in their jobs, but some are struggling. They complained online, saying that they can't afford a pay cut because their mortgage accounts for a big part of it.
今天的朋友圈炸了，全部都是阿里裁员的消息。没错，大厂又裁员了。淘宝、天猫的比例是20%。
Today, my circle of friends are exploding with the news of the layoffs of Alibaba. That's right, the big company is laying off employees again. The proportion of Taobao and Tmall is 25%, and Ali Cloud is 7%. The Cloud Intelligent Business Group has 18,000 employees. 7% layoffs would mean that more than 1,200 people are to be dismissed. Why has it caused such a big commotion? It's because layoffs can lead to a lot of problems. For example, everyone knows the real estate price in Hangzhou is largely propped up by the internet e-commerce companies. The last time when Hangzhou had a big company layoff, it affected the housing prices, leading to a price drop in some places. Secondly, if Alibaba is considered to have started the major layoffs in 2023, it means other major layoffs are on the way, one after another. Can you believe it? Then the third point is also very, very important. That is, our employment environment has further deteriorated. With so many people being laid off, is it going to be easy for them to find the right job? Not necessarily. So there is a large group of people who are being forced to start their own businesses. And what's important to understand is who got laid off first. The first to be laid off are people who aren't in essential positions, people whose positions aren't absolutely necessary. The employment environment will only worsen, and there will be more and more super individuals.
超级个体的人只会越来越多。今天下午朋友圈也炸锅了。
This afternoon, my circle of friends exploded with rumors that a large Hangzhou company laid off 25% of its employees. This ratio isn't small. If one agrees right away, one gets a deal of N+3. If one waits a few days, the deal becomes N+2. And if one fails to transfer internally within a month, one then gets the deal of N+1. In addition to this, many people are laid off in one division. For example, in all the hardware-related businesses and sectors, the layoffs are 50%. The leak said this was only the first round of layoffs and would be followed by the second and third rounds. This year's employment situation can be said to be very stressful.
Today's most explosive news is that Hangzhou Alibaba has a new round of massive layoffs. A variety of screenshots are circulating online. First, have a look at what I posted in a circle of friends on March 30th. The split of the company is happening. Incremental growth has disappeared. Parts of the business aren't profitable to begin with. For example, after Ali Entertainment and Local Services Group became independent companies of their own, they would just go downhill, and a new round of layoffs is expected. So, you see, it doesn't surprise me at all that Hangzhou Ali has a new round of layoffs. But what surprises me is that even the core technology segment like Ali Cloud and also the artificial intelligence business with future growth have also laid off a significant number of employees. Of course, the layoffs will lower the business cost, improve the business efficiency, making the business operation numbers look better. Thus it means to make shareholders happy in the capital market. But this is cruel to middle-class families who got paid high salaries in large companies. Everyone's first thought would be that Hangzhou's property market would suffer even further. In fact, it'll affect not only the property market. Given such substantial layoffs from a major company, it'll also further deteriorate local spending. Last year to this year, as Ali Cloud moved from an office building in the future science and technology city to its new headquarters, it resulted in a direct drop of US $140 per square meter in the rental of the apartments in the business district. And restaurant turnover dropped by 30% or more. Although we don't see much negative economic news now on the hot search list, the economic winter is far from over. So, you must be psychologically prepared and stocked up with supplies.
As
the leading internet company in China, Ali's layoffs will have a ripple effect on property prices and spending. In the past few years, Hangzhou's property prices soared, forming a big bubble. As Ali employees make relatively high incomes, they have also raised property prices throughout Hangzhou, thus inflating the local property prices. Now the layoffs will lead to the collapse of the property market in Hangzhou. Everyone, the tide of default mortgages is really coming. There's a property in Hangzhou that's very popular online. It has seen a rare wave of sell-offs. What's even more surprising is that the listing price of the same project varies greatly. The lowest price per square meter is 30,000 yuan and the highest is 80,000, a difference of up to 50,000 yuan per square meter. This is very strange, as we all know the listing price of second-hand homes in the same project is more or less the same. At most, there might be a small difference in price due to the height of the floor, but a price difference of 50,000 yuan per square meter is unheard of in Chinese real estate. What does that mean? Why is there such a big price difference? There is only one reason for this. That is, the landlords are collectively selling off their properties. After investigation, it's indeed so. This online popular property has over 20% of its units listed on one single platform. When there are more listings, if you want your home to stand out and want to get rid of it quickly, there is only one way to do it. That is to lower the price continuously. The lowest price has basically dropped all the way down from the top price of 80,000 per square meter. In other words, the current high price of 80,000 yuan per square meter means the property just got listed. It tries to sell a little bit more. Do you think it's possible? If 30,000 yuan per square meter is available, who would pay for 80,000 yuan per square meter? So eventually, the psychological expectations of high-priced landlords will drop the price to 30,000 little by little. Then again, what's the reason behind the sudden surge of listings and the sharp drop in price in this online popular property? Headhunters broke the news that Hangzhou Ali is laying off many employees. The layoff ratio is expected to be 25%. From the information on social media, Ali is split into 6 business groups. Only the International Digital Business Group isn't affected by layoffs. The other 5 groups have experienced massive layoffs. In the past 5 quarters, Ali's workforce decreased by 24,100 people. Among the 24,100 people, a large percentage bought the online popular project. After being laid off, those workers lost income, making it difficult to carry the mortgage. Not being able to afford the mortgage, they are forced to sell their homes, resulting in the phenomena of the price dropping from 80,000 per square meter to 30,000 per square meter. What's certain is that layoffs by Ali have a big negative impact on the housing prices in Hangzhou. At present, driven by the price drop of this property, it has almost become the norm for the price of surrounding properties to be slashed in half. Almost all the people around this online popular project are high-salary employees from internet high-tech enterprises. This is why the surrounding real estate prices have been speculated so high in the first place.
Recently, a few friends who bought homes in 2020 came to me to list their homes for sale. The moment I told them the price, they were shocked. How come the current price is like their purchase price 3 years ago? The price has indeed gone back to 3 years ago. Think about the second-hand property market in Hangzhou 3 years ago. It was hard to get one's hands on a home. One has to fight to get a flat, not to mention the price negotiation. At the time, the landlord's favorite saying was, "It's okay, this is the price of my property. If your clients can make a better offer, let them check out other properties." At that time, a realtor's favorite thing to say was, "Sister, this home would be gone if you don't make an offer now." What clients often said was, "Xiao Wang, is it possible to negotiate another 50,000 yuan with this landlord?" No one expects that 3 years later, the real estate market went directly from the seller's market to the buyer's market. Clients now start with the price cut of 200,000 yuan, as if that's how it's supposed to be, without care if the deal will succeed. The agent must endure it all without a temper. In order to sell a unit, a realtor can take the client around the entire city of Hangzhou. Unfortunately, clients sometimes get more confused after seeing many homes. The landlords are even more pathetic. They would say all day long, "We can negotiate if your client is interested. Please promote my property. How are your clients? Do you have any offers?"
Not only is Alibaba laying off employees, but the entire internet industry is following suit. The wave of layoffs and salary cuts is in full swing, with Tencent, Jingdong, Kuaishu, Baidu, Xianghongshu, etc. laying off employees one after another. People are panicking, doubting themselves, and scared.
Is the internet about to change? I know that there is a wave of layoffs, but I never expected it to come so fast and fierce and the scale to be so big and swift. This afternoon, a friend at Kuaishou told me that Kuaishou will lay off 30% of its employees. This is harsh. It reminds me of Baidu, which chopped off 90% of the manpower of its live streaming business line 2 days ago. The extent is virtually ending the entire operation. When a major internet company makes such a big layoff, the employees of other companies in the industry panic, and the people are on edge. Now, this industry gives me the feeling that I'm such a tiny person. It's no use to try harder. Panic.
This major shakeup of Ali affects more than just Hangzhou because Taobao and Tmall are China's largest e-commerce sites. Their problems are the true reason for the dramatic decline of the Chinese retail sector. According to the China Bureau of Statistics, the total retail sales of consumer goods in April 2023 declined by 7.7% compared to the previous month. Cosmetics, gold and silver jewelry for women were down 29.77% and 19.79% respectively. Cultural and office supplies that represent the state of the business were down 26.14%. Cell phones and other communication equipment were down 20.23%, and big-ticket purchases of automobiles was down over 15%. In the first quarter of 2023, Ali's revenue was RMB 208.2 billion, up 2% year-over-year, while Jingdong's revenue was RMB 242.956 billion, up just 1.38% year-over-year. Jack Ma is seen as an icon of the Chinese tech industry. The business condition of e-commerce giant Alibaba is also a weather vane of the overall state of China's economy. With the continuous economic downturn and the lack of consumer confidence in mainland China, its Taobao Tmall business group is currently facing a tough situation in terms of competition. Jack Ma returned to China in March 2023. Whether it was Alibaba's split or Jack Ma's return to China, it was all planned by Beijing authorities. The splitting of Ali is a sign that Beijing is wary of the power and social influence of Jack Ma and other tech moguls. Ma's return to China comes just after a major trauma to China's economy, and Beijing authorities need the private sector to do its part to create jobs and boost the economy, re-energize economic growth, and reinvigorate investor confidence. Analysts say Beijing may need Alibaba now, but it won't allow it to be as strong as before. Jack Ma's return is considered an important political statement by the Communist Party at a time when China's economy is in desperate need of growth. Reuters, citing sources familiar with the matter, said new Premier Li Qiang has been asking Jack Ma to return to China since late 2022. Li Qiang believes this will help calm concerns that the CCP is cracking down on the private sector. Ma is seen as a barometer of Beijing's support for the private sector. We think Ma may also be forced to go along with the CCP show because he is a party member. What he experiences shows the general situation of Chinese entrepreneurs today. In April this year, the registered capital of Hangzhou Alibaba Network Technology Company changed. It has dropped from $1.7 billion US to $15 million, sparking a lot of online debate in mainland China. Netizens suspected that the move was to allow the CCP authorities to take a stake in the company. They wrote, "The government will take a stake in the company, cash it out in the IPO, and the equity shares will be used to replace some of the revenue." It's the government's registered capital, and it's changed to a state-owned enterprise. How many private enterprises were turned into state-owned enterprises at the beginning of the founding of the PRC?